Stock continues. This is chapter 2. Shayla has spent many days now wandering back and forth from one point of the tunnel to the next point. Because these fallout shelters are pretty large. You have to understand that with the Euro going through the channel there, it's about 30 miles long. Even though it's only about 20 miles underneath there, you still got your entrance points. And then you have going downhill, slight grade, then going back up. Either way, Shayla had a hard time going from one end to the other. She had to make sure that everything was closed off. Luckily, whatever is happening to the earth didn't really happen there, because even though she's close to the surface, she was protected by the water. And none of the battery or generators were running at the time when all this happened. So it was slightly affected, but not totally. She had power. Shayla took her first few days and she got to know her stat phone. You see, she realized that with a sat phone, she could connect directly to the satellites up overhead, to the communications there. And going into the satellite system, especially the ones with communications, she was able to take and put in brand new passwords for each and every one. She made sure that each one was totally different than the other and they were written down. And her point was this, that whatever was happening outside, she knew that there would be people desperate trying to find some type of solution, that there may be turmoil, chaos, riots, things going on. There may even be wars where one country going after the other. She had no idea. But what she did know is that she was safe. No one would think to come there. And if they did, they could not get in. Because see, she had 3-inch blast doors at each end that she sealed off. And no one would think about looking in there, except for maybe some of the politicians that helped build it, or the workers that helped build it knew about them. But she got there first. So she was able to lock everything out. And she had room enough for over 5,000 people on each end plus hers. So that's 15,000 people that could be in her little fallout shelter that could last up to 20 years. That was the thought behind when they made it. Of course, now they really didn't need all that. Either way, Shayla had it. Now she knew where her sister was over there along the eastern coast of Galveston, Texas, and someplace called Jamaica Beach. But there was only about 4 cell towers there. So she connected to one that was up over Jamaica Beach. Something else she realized, that once she turned on the satellite there and that cell tower, that everybody would have phones in that area for the time that she would have it on. So she had to keep it short and sweet. She tried it a couple times before she reached out to Sara. And along about midnight, Sara had had a rough day dealing with all the people coming and going out of the clinic. She had no idea of how many elements there were of people coming around, but she was well protected. Everybody there recognized her as the only doctor in the area. There was a dentist, there was vets and things like that, but she was the only doctor. She was earning her keep, and so they were protecting her too. Along about midnight, her phone rang. She didn't know why, but she kept her phone fully charged ever since the first day of losing power. Once they started taking and using hand generators to charge things up, she had to have her phone charged in case somebody in Jamaica Beach wanted to get a hold of her. But they were only charging up the ham radios and the CB radios, so they weren't charging up the phones. But she was charging up her phone. So when she got a phone call, it kind of startled her. It's about midnight, and she had just laid down to get a good night's sleep. And she ran over to her phone and it showed the ID number as her sister. She picked it up and said, Shayla, Shayla, so good to hear from you. How are you doing? What's going on? Shayla says, I'm not really sure. All I know is that I've got a safe place nobody can get to me. What's going on with your end, Sarah? Sarah? It's crazy. Power's off all over the place. We can't contact anybody. How'd you call me on the phone? Is things getting back to normal? Shayla thought for a second. No, Sarah. It's not. I have control over the cell tower where we're talking, and I can't talk for long. But I'm here trying to gonna find Saul, and I want you and him to get together. I want y'all to come to me. Sarah thought, there ain't no way. You're over there, so many 5,000 miles away from us. There ain't no way we can make it there. Listen, Sarah, you have to make plans. Find some way to where once I find Saul, that you two can connect up. Remember, you and Saul both were great on those sailing ships and stuff like that, navigating the oceans. And better than I was too busy learning how to speak different languages. You two was understanding how to navigate from one place to another. Especially Saul. He was really into that. Yeah, Shala, we could, but there ain't nothing running here. There isn't no, small yachts, small catamarans, or something like that that you can use, that you can get a hold of, semi float or something, whatever that you can make use. Well, yes, but if Saul comes here, he can't get in here. We got it locked up and everything. Well, what about you, Sarah? Are you locked up? She says, no, this place is dead. All these people here, they won't even let me go far out into the Gulf here without trying to make sure I got a dozen people watching over me. Well, is there another little bay or something like that close to you? Yeah, there's a bay there. We have a yacht club there. Well, what about accommodating one of them? They got everything locked down, Shala. There ain't no way that they would allow me to get on one of those and sail off. After they got some that kind of broken down and that doesn't work right. Well, yeah, they got one here with got a hole in the side of it, and it's kind of semi sunken into it. But couldn't you get that one? Build a bladder or something like that to get the refloat? She says, yeah, I could, but They're not going to let me, Charlotte. You see, I'm their only doctor right now. Their only doctor. What do you got going on? Well, ever since the power went off and everything just seemed to have stopped, they have blocked off east and west of here. Nobody can get in here, and they got 24-hour guards. If anybody comes this way and they stop them, turn them around, and if they don't go, they kill them. They do what? Yes. Let's say this is their little part of the island. And they don't want nobody else coming in. We got food and stuff here, and we get shipments and every now and then from across the bay. People bringing things to us because they need the stuff that we have. They have stuff that we need, and I'm the only doctor, so we get people coming in. But they have to come in on rowboats. They are kayaks or something like that to come in and out of here. And we have no other way around but that. That's how we get around. The guys on the east end and west end that's kind of watching things, they're on horseback. They're taking full advantage of the armory here and the weapons and guns. We've got a couple of cannons and things like that set up here. But we're protected here, inshallah. Have you talked to Saul? No, I can't find him. I know he's up there in Colorado. I forget the name of those mountain ranges that he said he was going to set up. Shayla, think about the East Coast, West Coast. On the East Coast of the mountain, heading towards the east, is called the New York Mountain Range. And on the West Coast, they call the Pacific Mountain Range. He's in the New York Mountain Range. I'm having a hard time. See, I've got control of the communication satellites up above. Only I have. And we've only got a few minutes that we can talk to everybody. When I turn it on, I have to turn the phone on for everybody else. Even though they can call all they want to, they can't reach anybody because I've got all the other ones turned off. So if somebody talks to you, you don't know what's happened, you didn't reach anybody. Make sure you clear everything off from here. From now on, I'll send you a text. So the power will only be on for the phones for a little bit. And once I talk to Saul, I'll text you, let you know, and I give you a text that'll give you a code of what day and time I'm going to call you. And if it's no good, you can say yeah, they are rejected, whatever, and I'll make another call. But you need to try to see if you can't get a hold of one of those catamarans or those little bitty yachts or something like that to where you can make way here. Now, I'll see what I can do, Shayla, but this is not going to be easy. See, they guard me 24 hours a day. Well, tell them you need some private time, that you need to get away, that you need to get some sun, that have them take and put a rope attached to the yacht and say that, let me go out there. Y'all take control of it and whatever, and just let me be out there by myself for a little bit. I need time to think. That sounds good, Shayla. I think I'll do that. Even though it may take a couple years before they trust me enough to be out there by myself, it won't take that long, Sarah. Hopefully, I can get a hold of Saul and we can make plans. Oh. Give me a chance to think, Sarah. And let me talk to Saul, see what we come up with. In the meantime, I love you, sis. I miss you so much. And I want to bring you and Saul over here to where I'm at. I control who comes and goes out of here. So if I bring you over here, there's plenty of food, plenty of places to sleep. But I need somebody on the east end and on the west end. Who to let in can only come from family. Okay, Shayla, I will do what I can. But you go ahead and get a hold of Saul. Thank you, sis. In the meantime, you take it easy. Don't let anybody know and delete this phone call. Talk to you later. And just like that, the phone cut off. There's so much excitement the next morning around Sara. And Sara was looking around and looking out and saying, "What happened?" Even though she knew she had to play dumb to what. They said, "Well, the phones come on last night. It was only on for a few minutes, but they were on." Sara looked at her, pulled her phone out, and said, "Mine didn't come on. I have no bars, no nothing. I have power to it, but I have nothing on it. I didn't get anything." "Oh, you must have been asleep, doctor." But believe me, the phones came on last night, just for a little bit. That tells us the government, somebody's out there doing something and working to make things better. Well, until they do, Sarah was telling everyone, I guess we're still stuck here. And if I could talk to somebody over there at the marina, I need to have some private time. Even in my condo there, you know, I get people calling me and text me, coming by at different times. Sometimes I need just to get away from everybody, to have time to think. I love all of you, but I still need time to myself. And the mayor come up and says, "We may be able to do something to help you out." Sarah said, "There's a couple of those yachts out there that's not being used. One of them got that small leak in the bottom of it. Maybe we can put a bladder float it a little bit." She says, "I'm not too familiar with sailing, but a little lie from Sarah. She kind of grimaced with selling that. But maybe y'all could take and, kind of push me out into the bay a little bit. I'm not sure how to get back. So could you tie a rope and just pull me back?" I mean, I thought this. That's not a bad idea. That way we can help you if there was to be an emergency come up. And if there's somebody here who needs something, we can pull you in real fast. So that would be good. But that would give me time enough by myself too. And so they were making plans. Meanwhile, inside the Euro, the tunnel underneath there, deep in the water, now that Shayla had the name of the mountain range, New York mountain range, she consulted her little satellite map. And within the New York mountain range, which part of the Rocky Mountains there was few hundred cell towers there. And those cell towers, some of them had solar capability, but most of them was on battery backup. And she couldn't do anything with the batteries because from what she's finding out that, and from looking for Sarah that, some of those cell towers get electrical powers from different places. Some of the remote ones get it from solar and go into batteries. And there has to be somebody physically there that turns on a battery backup, connect to the solar. If there's no one there, well then She could connect the towers all she wants to, but if the battery's not going, it only operates when she connects to it and stops the moment she doesn't. And that was the problem, trying to find Saul. But now that she knew, she had her work cut out for her. And she had a topographical map there of the Rocky Mountains, right around behind Boulder and Denver and to the New York mountain range. And she started thinking about how Saul was. He was very much a loner. He would not go to where there was a bunch of people around. So she was making arrangement to go through each and every one of those cell towers, connect to each and every one of them to see where Saul was at. And hopefully Saul was around with his phone where she could connect to it. And she picked one right in the middle, a cell tower that right in the middle of the New York mountain range. So, well, good place to start a dating. And when she connected, she had her phone and she dialed Saul's number. And the moment she dialed it, Saul answered, Shayla, Shayla, Saul, is that you? Yes. And click, and just like that, the power went off. Apparently, the cell tower didn't have battery backup to it, powerful enough. So she could connect to him by phone. She was going to have to find another way. So she started looking at all the other ones, cell towers around, and she found one that listed itself as solar, pure solar. There was no battery, just solar cell tower. So she connected to it and called Saul's phone again. Saul answered, Sara, Shayla. Oh my God, where are you at? What's going on with this? You know that the power's gone off all around the world. There are planes that crash, there are uh, troubles all around, people are rioting, things all over. Saul, what's going on with you? All I know is when I left Boulder, I headed straight up through here. And at a point I could take and watch over Denver and the smoke and things going on. Are we at war, Shaw? No, Saul, we're not at war. But something's happened and I'm not really sure. But apparently it seems like the power's off all over the world. There's none of the generators, none of the electrical currents, none of the batteries, and nothing like that working, Saul. So, well, how'd you call me? Cell towers, solar power. Saul nodded his head, thinking, yeah, that would be the only way. What about the wind generators and things like that? She says, well, I'm not really sure how that's going to work. I'll just connect them with a phone to you right now. The first cell tower I come through didn't have no way of backing itself up. The one I'm talking to you now is just pure solar energy from the cell tower, so I can talk to you. I have control over the telephones and everything. We're going to have to sit down in a few days and make plans. I want you to meet up with Sara and make your way to her to see her. Why is that? Click. And just like that, the phone went out. Shayla didn't want to tell Saul this, but she had to keep the conversation short and sweet. So she would text him when she was going to call him, and that's what she did. Saul perched upon his lookout post, close to his base camp, was still back in a cave, little bubble, someplace safe for him. He waited the rest of the day to see if Shayla was going to call him again.